Hey everyone, it's Grandmaster Ben Feingold here with my new video series, The Ultimate Blunder. What's the ultimate blunder, you ask? Thanks for asking. It's when you resign when you shouldn't resign. And if you know me, and I'm sure you all know me, I'm against resigning. Never resign, roar! And if you do resign and the engine is like, why did you resign? Then you sort of feel bad. And we have some fun examples here in our first video of people resigning because they missed, I would say, relatively simple tactics. I guess it depends who your relatives are. All right, now in this position, black is winning. Black has a monster attack on the white king. And the engine says more than one move wins, but it really likes queen c1, pitting the bishop. Instead, black won immediately by playing knight d2 check. And when I say he won immediately, white resigned. White was thinking, if I take with the bishop, queen f2 is mate. And if I take with the knight, queen g1 is mate. And those are my only two legal moves. So that's what black was thinking. That's what white was thinking. Turns out thinking wasn't their strong suit, because after bishop takes, the queen is pinned. Oh no. So queen f2 check would be quite illegal. And after bishop takes, we win the knight, we win the queen, black has to resign. And instead, white resigned after knight d2 check. So I guess when the players found out what happened, it was funny for the guy who had black, Echeverry, but probably Ortega was not happy. So sometimes you resign when you shouldn't. That's why you should never resign. So that was a fun first example. Let's look at another fun example. So in this position, white was Kik Langueg versus Tim Crabb, who actually coined the term the ultimate blunder, probably from this game. He had the black pieces here, did Mr. Crabb. And actually, he changed the pronunciation of his name to Crabby after this game because he was so crabby. But in this position, white is threatening queen takes f7. The rook can't move vertically because queen takes g7 is mate. If the rook goes horizontal, we take, and then queen here check wins. The rook is hanging and so forth. So seeing no defense to any of this, he resigned. And in fact, instead of defending, he could have attacked. He could have played the move rook c2 or rook b2, but why waste energy? Threatening queen f2 check and queen takes h2 mate. White has to play rook f1. Black continues the attack with queen d2, threatening queen h2 mate. And there's absolutely no reason for black to resign here. Black is the one attacking. After queen h5, defending the mate, we just play bishop e8. And the game continues with black having the advantage. But instead of attacking and threatening mate himself, he was trying to defend his position, didn't see a way to do it, and ended up resigning prematurely. Not too much fun for black, but I'm sure white got a kick out of that resignation. Okay, let's go look at the next example. So this example is Igor Glek versus Vladimir Lazarev, and it was white's turn to move, and white played the brilliant rook takes f8 check. Now, you would think black only has one legal move here, and the reason you're thinking that is because he does. So that's good thinking, good job. And in this position, instead of making that one legal move, black resigned. And I'll show you why he resigned, and then I'll show you why he shouldn't have. So king takes f8, the only legal move. Notice the rook is pinned. Bishop c5 check, and he thought, well, king g8, that's what he was thinking. Queen c8 check with unstoppable mate. So instead of getting mated that way, he ended up resigning. Rook f8, queen takes f8 mate. We can delay it one more move with queen e8, but you just take it. However, in this position, black has two legal moves. An unknown situation for Lazarev. And if he played his second legal move, rook e7, black is actually winning. Obviously, the king and pawn ending is winning for black. That's nothing to discuss. So we play bishop takes e7, King E8. Again, black has one legal move. King E8, and now black's winning. There's no good discovered check because I play queen takes queen. So if you move your queen, I take your bishop, and I'm several pawns up. And if you trade queens, black has 4 pawns for a bishop, and the engine says this is an easy win for black. So not a good resignation when you have one legal move, and that move wins, and the analysis of that one legal move involves very few legal moves. There's not much going on there, but he resigned a silly resignation in a winning position. Okay, let's look at our last example. Now in this position, white seemingly has an extra pawn, 2 passed pawns. He's got a fork with f6, and black has this dangerous passed pawn. Pretty tricky position. And the engine likes black. It says, wow, what a nice pawn. So white played f6, and now there was a comedy of errors. I like comedies. So, okay, in this position, black is winning by simply taking the pawn. And the problem is, if we trade queens, always trade queens, except for one thing. Rook check, rook f1, e2, and black is winning. In fact, my favorite winning variation is knight e3, check, takes, and then just queen. That's my favorite. Okay, and that all makes a lot of sense. Okay, and instead, black got cute, and his cuteness worked out, but it shouldn't have. e2, very suspicious move. That move actually loses. And after taking the queen, he played bishop to d4 check. And his analysis was king h1, I take the rook and make a rook or a queen checkmate. Rook f2, I make a queen checkmate, and I win. Hooray for me. And white agreed with that analysis. White resigned. There's 3 legal moves. The first 2 that I showed you lose, but there's a third legal move, knight e3. And that unleashes the white queen because the knight on c4 was blocking the queen. Now bishop takes knight check, king h1, and it's white that's winning. White's queen defends the rook. White's up a queen. White's threatening this rook. And a funny variation is after you take rook e8, we're actually winning more material here. We could play queen d3, threatening the bishop, and threatening queen to d8 or d7. And if you take this pawn, queen d8 check wins your rook. So here, black's losing more. Black's going to have to lose his bishop. Otherwise, queen d7 wins everything. So white was incredibly winning in the final position when he resigned, but he didn't see knight e3 with his queen defending his rook. He resigned, and sure, he feels bad about it, but it's funny for us. That's the most important thing, is entertainment. So don't resign, play on till the bitter end, and sometimes you'll find out you shouldn't have resigned like these gentlemen did.